Hi, this is Lizzy Cruz, and here are my note cards. Have you ever been listening to a song that has completely changed your mood in a split second? Well, that has happened to me. One minute I'll be listening to a very happy, upbeat song and be in a great mood, and the next it switches to a sad song. And now all I want to listen to is listen to sad songs and just sulk in my bad feelings. Well, music affects you depending on what song is being played at the current moment. Most people listen to music on an everyday basis, either by choice or by chance, which makes everybody a victim to the powers of music. Now, as an avid listener of music and someone who has researched the topic, I'm here to inform you about some of the effects of music. Having the ability to infiltrate our emotions, body language, and mindset makes music a very powerful thing in our everyday lives. Now, before we start, I want to mention this cool feature that Spotify has, that every year they give you a list of all the music that you listen to, as well as the time that you've listened to music. Now, mine this year was about thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of listening to music. So this kind of gives you an idea how much music we listen to in our lives, because that was only the Spotify time that I've listened. So we're going to start out with the positive things. Music can benefit your mind and your body. So music is known to keep your mind from aging. Johns Hopkins Medical in 2020 said listening to music can reduce anxiety as well as improve sleep quality, mood, mental alertness, and memory. They did an experiment where there was a rapper and a singer, and they were placed into an MRI, and while they were getting scanned, they were rapping or singing, and this immediately showed a bunch of activity blowing up in their mind. Now this shows you that as you're listening to music or even singing music, there's a constant cycle of your mind just trying to wrap around and trying to process the song, either by the rhythm or by the meaning or by the memories that are put together with the songs. So this means that listening to music is really good for activating your brain and keeping it moving. And not only is there mental effects, but it helps your physical activity as well. It improves and incites physical activity. So Clark and Tampin said, music facilitates rhythmic entrainment, thereby improving energy efficiency and exercise performance. So while you're running and jogging, it can really help you keep your rhythm while you're doing this, and it also puts you in a kind of trance-like state, so you can really focus on giving it your best. And this also works with other physical activity as well. If you're listening to certain songs that might make me feel more confident and more positive, it'll make you work harder overall, and it'll also keep your motivation up. And that goes the same way with boring songs and sad songs. It might not motivate you as much to really put in your all effort. So it's really good to keep in mind what songs you're playing while you're doing physical activity. Now, there are also negative emotions that can come from listening to music. Some music can influence a person to have more negative thoughts or actions. Violent music in specific can influence a person's emotions to be more angry. Atramov in 2019 said during 5 experiments with 75 females and 70 male college students, those who heard violent music were shown to be more hostile than those who listened to a non-violent song from the same artist. So I just have to mention that these violent feelings eventually went away, but in the moment that they were listening to the songs, it inflicted these violent feelings, even though they might not have violent tendencies. Now, this could be dangerous in the cases where a violent person listens to violent music. It may motivate them to do something violent. I'm not saying that's the case, but it could happen. So it's always great to be sure to be careful what you listen to. This is also the situation with sad music. Sad music tends to intensify bad feelings, especially in people who are diagnosed with depression. Atramov also said people with clinical depression tendencies were found to feel worse after listening to sad music. This is true because depressed people already have sad feelings and emotions going through in their heads on an everyday basis. When you add sad music to that, it just validates the sad feelings that they're having and just make sure that they're always in a sad mood. It's like a constant cycle of sadness and just never goes away. You can't be happy. So it's good that even if you aren't depressed, to make sure you monitor how much sad music you really listen to, because it can have bad effects. Now, we're going to move on to something more lighthearted. Different cultures and social groups can be affected and represented by certain music. So first, we're going to talk about how nations and communities are united by music. Schaefer in 2013 said working war songs, lullaby, and national anthems have bound together families, groups, or whole nations. So if we bring in American society and American culture, we can think of the national anthem or even the Star Spangled Banner. Both of these songs are very significant to American society as they are played before baseball, basketball, football, any type of games. You usually hear the national anthem come on, and immediately you know that the players and everybody should be in tune with the American culture. But not only can music unite people, but it can also bring in certain stereotypes depending on what genre of music you listen to. So Trey Hub in 2015 said, our deepest values may be implied by participation in a particular genre, such as heavy metal with male machismo, rave with youth culture and drugs, or classical with upper middle class society and values. So what the type of music that you listen to puts you in a type of stereotype, and people will assume to know who you are based on the music you listen to. This can be bad because you don't always want to be characterized into what people have to say about the certain music you listen to. Now, there can be a country person wearing a country hat, cowboy boots, and you would assume they would listen to country music, but maybe they really love classical music. It's good not to stereotype people just based on what they like. And keep in mind that music is different for everybody and can affect everybody in different ways. Now, we're going to move on to our conclusion. Music has the ability to unite, generalize a culture/nation, improve mind and body, and even incite negative feelings or actions. The ability to change your mood and dynamic is something that music has always been able to do. So it's good to monitor what music you listen to. Music is a powerful tool, and it's been able to dictate certain emotions, body language, and mindset for a person. So just keep that in mind the next time you're listening to music.